In this paper, the first chapter is limit. It belongs to real analysis topic, which is actually the base of pure mathematics. So before starting the new concept of limit, all of you know about the concept of limit. Suppose we have one function fx, and I'm saying that fx tends to a limit L as x tending to c. That means limit extending to c fx equals L. You are all familiar with this notation, and how to check that limit? We check that the left hand limit and right hand limit. If both are equal, then we say that it is moving to the limit L. That is, if limit extending to c plus fx equals limit extending to c minus fx, and if this equal value is equals L, then we say that the limit of the function fx when x tending to c is equals to L. This is the preliminary concept of limit. Now we need to know the epsilon delta concept of limit. Okay, and you all are familiar to find the limit. Just by putting x equal to c in the function fx, you can get the value. Suppose if we take one function fx equals x square, and I am asking you that find the limit extending to 1 fx. You all know how to do that. Just put the value 1 square, so it will be 1. This is the limiting value. This is our required L. Now we need to get the whole concept using this epsilon delta. So before starting the epsilon delta concept, we need to know few things. Number one is interval. I hope all of you know about interval. We know two types of intervals: open interval and closed interval. Open interval looks like this, open AB, that means all such x such that a less than x less than b. If we draw it over real line, then it will look like this. This is A, this is B. This is our open interval, open AB. And another one is closed interval. This means all such a such that a less or equal to x less or equal to b. That is, a and b, both the points are included in that interval. These are the definitions of open and closed interval. Now here you will know a new thing which is called neighborhood, or simply written by NBD, and it is denoted by either V delta C or N delta C. Both are standard notation. V delta C or N delta C, that means the delta neighborhood of C. That means if we consider real line over C, then if we consider the delta boundaries on both sides of C, this is minus delta, this is plus delta. So this interval will become C minus delta, comma C plus delta. This is called V delta C or N delta C. Okay, the same thing. And we read it as delta neighborhood of C. That means this is C minus delta, this is C plus delta. Obviously C is included there in C minus delta comma C plus delta. Now we know we have another new notation which is called deleted neighborhood. Deleted neighborhood, and it is denoted by N delta dashed C. This is also a standard notation. This means deleted neighborhood. That means C is not included in that neighborhood. So what does it mean by N delta dashed C? It means C minus delta comma C plus delta difference C. That means C is excluded. This is called deleted neighborhood. So basically this neighborhood contains the point from C minus delta comma C, this part, union C comma C plus delta. Okay. And generally we also denote this neighborhood sign by this, x minus C less than delta. Modulus of x minus C less than delta. This also denotes the same thing, the neighborhood. And if we break it, this x minus c less than delta, what will we get? We will get minus delta less than x minus c less than delta because of this mod. So it will become, if we add c on both the sides, it will become c minus delta less than x less than c plus delta. That means ultimately c minus delta, c plus delta, neighborhood of x. So sometimes we also use this notation also. This is the same thing, V delta C or N delta C. That is the delta neighborhood of the point C. Okay. These are the few preliminary definitions. Now we are moving to the next one, which is called limit point or cluster point. Limit point / cluster point. Suppose we have a set A subset of R, and a point C belongs to R is said to be a limit point or a cluster point of the set A if for every delta greater than 0, there exists at least one point of A in bracket other than X in delta neighborhood of C. What does it say? It is saying that suppose A is a subset of R and C be any point belongs to R. That means C may belong to A, may not belong to A. It doesn't matter. It could belong to A or may not be belong to A. So C be any point, it is said to be a limit point or a cluster point of A if every neighborhood of C contains at least one point of the set A other than C. So rather than C. That is, suppose this is our real numbers line and I am saying this is the set A, capital A. Now a point, let's take point from here, C. Okay. Now this point is said to be a limit point of the set A if every neighborhood of C, whatever delta you can take, that is C minus delta, C plus delta, you have to choose delta. Whatever small you can choose, the length of delta, that is every neighborhood C minus delta, C plus delta of C contains at least one point of A other than C. If this happens, then we will say that C is a limit point of A, and if this doesn't happen, then we say C is not a limit point of A. Okay. For being a limit point, it does not necessary that the point should belong to that set. The point may or may not belong to that set. Okay. So let's find some example of limit point, then the concept will be clear. Suppose we are considering the interval open 0, 1, naming it as the set A. Now we are trying to find the limit points of A. What will be the limit points of A? This is our real number R, real line R. This is 0, this is 1. So our neighborhood is look like this. 0 and 1 both are excluded. Okay. So we got A equals X such that 0 less than X less than 1. Now we have to find out all such points C such that whenever we will consider any neighborhood of C, suppose C minus delta, C plus delta, that will contain at least one point of the set A other than C. Now if you consider any point belonging to C, suppose here, half or 1/4, 1/3, 1/5, anything, any point. Now check for this point, if you consider any small neighborhood, whatever small you want to become it, C minus delta, C plus delta, this obviously contains infinitely many points of the set A because it is belonging to the set A, right? So whenever we are considering any point between 0 to 1 and consider any small neighborhood of this point, it will obviously contain at least one point of A other than C. So all the points in that range 0 less than X less than 1 will become a limit point of A. So from here we can write down that all the points 0 less than X less than 1 are limit points of A. Right? Because whenever you choose any point between 0 to 1 and consider any smaller neighborhood of it, it will obviously contain at least one point other than X. Now what about the end points? 0 and 1. Now let's check for 0. This is 0, right? Now if you consider any neighborhood of 0 from the right hand side we can say there must be at least one point, because the interval is 0 less than x. 0 is not included, but anything which is greater than 0 obviously belongs to that set. So from the right hand side we can say we will obviously get at least one point from the set A other than 0. So from there we can conclude 0 is also a limit point. So 0 is also a limit point of A. Similarly, if you consider the right end point, which is 1, then consider any small neighborhood of 1. From the left hand side there must be some point, because it is included in that set. So from the left hand side we can say 1 is also a limit point of A. So basically we get the limit point as 0 less or equal to x less or equal to 1. These are all the limit points of the set A. And what about the other points which are not included there? That means suppose for on the right hand side of 1 or on the left hand side of 0. Suppose from here we are taking any point, 1.2, 1.1, 1.22 and so on. Any point? Then obviously we will get at least one neighborhood where there is no point, because suppose I am choosing the point 1.2. Okay. So this is the line, this is 1 and this is 1.2. Then if I choose this neighborhood, then there will be no point of that set capital A. So this cannot be a limit point of the set capital A. Similarly, any point towards the right end of 1 and the left points of 0 cannot be a limit point of the set A. So from there we can conclude that all the limit points of the set A lies in this range. And that means, what does it mean by 0 less or equal to x less or equal to 1? It means the closed interval 0, 1. So the limit points of the open interval 0, 1 is the closed interval 0, 1. Okay. This is also another important example which we will use very often in the problems. That is the set of limit points of an open interval. If we take the generalized open interval AB, open AB, then the set of limit point of the open interval AB will be the closed interval AB. Okay, this is the first example how we find the limit points. Next, moving to the next example. The next example would be the closed interval. Closed interval AB. We have to find out the set of limit points of closed AB. This is our real line. This is A. This is B. Just by applying similar argument, we can say any point between this A and B. Obviously, if we choose any point and any neighborhood of that point, it will contain more than one point other than the point X. So any interior point of that interval will be a limit point. Now if you choose A point and choose this point A and choose any neighborhood, from the right hand side it will contain few points of that set, close AB. So A will also be a limit point. Similarly, if you choose B and consider any small neighborhood of B, from the left hand part, from this part you can claim that there must be some point from the set capital A or from this set close interval AB. So B is also a limit point. Similarly, any point towards the right end of B from this part will not be a limit point, because if you choose any one, we can always find one neighborhood. There will be no point other than B of that set. Similarly, from the left part of A, these are also not the limit points of that set. So from there we can conclude that limit points of the set close AB is the set itself, that is close AB. Okay. Now moving to the next example. One, two, three, four. This set, suppose. This one. We have to find out the limit points of this set. How will you do that? This is our real line. This is 0. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. At first check for these 4 points. That means these 1, 2, 3 and 4 are the limit points of this set or not. Let's rename it as capital A. Now if you choose 1, consider any small neighborhood of 1. Does it contain any other point of A other than 1? The answer is obviously no, because it contains the only point of capital A set, which is 1, but we need another point which is not 1, not equal to 1, other than 1. So 1 cannot be a limit point. Similarly, consider the point 2. Consider any small neighborhood. It also doesn't contain any other point of A other than 2. So it is also not. Similarly, not 3, not 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 cannot be the limit point of A. Now rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, if you consider any point from the middle, suppose from here. Consider any neighborhood. It doesn't contain any point of A. So from there, if you choose any point from the real number system, it doesn't satisfy to be the limit point of the particular set capital A. So from there we can write down that the set A has no limit point. Set A has no limit point. Okay. This is how we find out the limit points of a set. Now moving to the definition of limit. That is limit extending to C fx equals L. How will we define it? Using epsilon delta condition. So the definition is, let A is a subset of R and C is a limit point of A. C is a limit point of A. Now for a function f from A to R, for this function f from A to R, a real number L is said to be a limit of f at C if for given epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta depends on that epsilon such that modulus of fx minus L less than epsilon for all x belongs to C minus delta, C plus delta, difference C. An intersection A. Okay. So what does it state? It states that suppose we have a set A subset of R and C is a limit point of A. That means C may or may not belong to A. We don't know. And we have a function f from A to R. Now a real number L is said to be a limit of f at the point C. That means extending to C fx is said to be the limit L if for given epsilon greater than 0, that means epsilon is here pre-assigned. You have to choose the epsilon. Whatever small, however small, you can choose it. So for given epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta which depends on that epsilon. By choosing appropriate value of epsilon, the delta will be changed. That is, that value of delta is dependent on the value of epsilon. So for given epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta such that modulus of fx minus L less than epsilon for all x belongs to C minus delta, C plus delta, difference C meet A. That means in that region. Suppose this is our C and this is C minus delta, this is C plus delta. So we are considering the deleted neighborhood of x of C, which is C minus delta, C plus delta, and under this region, if we choose any point from this region x, then if it satisfies this condition, that is fx minus L if less than epsilon, this distance fx and L, then we will say that L is the required limit of the function f at the point C. and we write it by the notation limit extending to c fx equals L. Okay. Now let us expand this one, fx minus L less than epsilon. Let's expand it. This is modulus of fx minus L less than epsilon. Now if we break this inequality, what will we get? Minus epsilon less than fx minus L less than epsilon. So L minus epsilon less than fx less than L plus epsilon. We have to prove this. For that L, then we will say this L is the limit of fx, right? And where this x belongs to? This x belongs to c minus delta comma c plus delta difference c intersection a. That means actually from this range what we can write? That x minus c less than delta, because if you expand this x minus c less than delta, ultimately you will get this, and there is no c, the difference c, that means this should be greater than 0. So for all x belongs to 0 less than mod x minus c less than delta, and x belongs to a, because there is intersection a, and x belongs to a, if it satisfies this condition, that is L minus epsilon less than fx less than L plus epsilon, then we will say that this function f has a limit L at the point C. Okay. Now moving to the geometrical interpretation of that concept, because it's so much abstract for all of you to understand, so it will be more clear if we get the geometrical interpretation. Suppose this is the point C, and we are considering the neighborhood c minus delta comma c plus delta. Let this is c minus delta and this is c plus delta, and this is our curve fx, and this point is suppose L. Okay, and epsilon neighborhood, we are considering the epsilon neighborhood of L. So let this point is L minus epsilon and this point is L plus epsilon. That means this line and this line. Now what we are saying, that when we will say this L is a limit of f, if whenever we are choosing any small epsilon, suppose I am choosing it the line of L plus epsilon here, you can choose it here also, very close to L, or you can choose here also. That means whatever the value we can take for epsilon, we always find one delta such that this c minus delta and c plus delta, this region will give some value of fx which will lie in that region. That means we always find some value of fx which will lie in that region L minus epsilon comma L plus epsilon. If this happens, then we will say that L is the required limit. This is the geometrical interpretation of the concept of epsilon delta definition of limit. Now whenever question comes that is prove that or find out by using epsilon delta definition, then what we have to do? We just have to find that delta. This is our main work, to find delta. Because epsilon is given, always given, this is pre-assigned. By choosing appropriate epsilon, we have to find out its corresponding delta. This is our main work of that problems. Okay, and sometimes we also write delta in bracket epsilon, because delta is always dependent on epsilon. If you change epsilon, delta will automatically be changed. So the same thing, delta and delta in bracket epsilon, both are the same thing, and always epsilon is greater than 0 and delta is also greater than 0. We are dealing with the positive quantities. So I am repeating again, the concept is limit extending to C fx equals L. What is its epsilon delta definition? Its definition is, for given epsilon greater than 0, there always exists a delta greater than 0 such that modulus of fx minus L less than epsilon for 0 less than x minus c less than delta and x belongs to capital N. Okay, this is the standard definition of epsilon delta definition of limit. Now we have to solve few problems. The main problem comes in the examination is prove by using Epsilon delta definition or find out the limit using Epsilon delta definition. I'll mainly cover these examples from Bartlett-Shevard book because in SK-MAPA these are not actually covered. They are all using the concept of that 12th standard concept, left hand limit and right hand limit. But we need to understand this Epsilon delta concept. So I'm using the book Bartlett-Shevard. Okay.